Netanyahu, all three brothers, the current prime minister, his older brother and younger brother, all of them served in that unit. This is the unit who broke into the terminal in Entebbe in 1976. This is the unit that led the most heroic and amazing operations ever, and it's the top skills in the world. It's one of a kind unit worldwide. So I was honored. I was accepted, and I had to work.
Praise for the peace that has been given. And thank you for all the different great ministries that are here in the land right now. And we just ask you in the name of Jesus that you would help us right now to continue to learn more. And we praise you for all that you're doing. Thank God. Okay.
Right? Something that bring us back to our beautiful home environment, right? That's what they did over there. They left home not knowing for how long. If they are troops, might be forever. If they follow the army, might be to settle down in a new place. And they want to remember home. These guys, as Greeks, they come from what we call Asia Minor or Little Asia, which is the borderline between Bulgaria, Turkey, and Greece, that area. When you travel around there, and I am a certified guide for the Balkan Peninsula, Bulgaria, Turkey, and Greece. I know Greece almost like the back of my hand. I've been to these environments over there many times, also for vacations, even more than working. I love that place, and I can tell you, when you drive into these lands, it looks very much like here. Very much. The sceneries are just like here. They came here, they fell home right away. So they said, instead of these pictures and things, we just build home here. We feel closer. And they established a place. Of course, the leaders did it for the right reason. By the water, by the main road, okay? Protected, at least some side, by natural, walls over here. They built it for the right reason. When they looked around, like we said, they found this cave we're going to show you with running waterfall coming from the very center of that cave. They could not explain that. That's why they elevated it right away and said, oh, our god Pan, who's in charge for nature, is the one. He is Mr. Big Boss. He did it. This idol did it. So they placed a shrine or a temple for him. They build a big apse and place his idol, his image right into that with some assistants, smaller or secondary important gods around it, and establish a beautiful temple. We'll see the offered or potential temple that was built in his name, right there. Josephus Flavius, that I'm sure you know this name, who is the one of very few, and in this case of the time of Jesus, he is probably the only written evidence that we have from any official historian. He is an historian, and he is a war hero. He is a commander of the Jewish troops on the front, on the northern front here. This guy wrote his great book called The Struggle of the Jews Against Rome. And he visited here shortly after the time of Jesus, just a few decades after. He is coming here. So in his eyes, he still sees this waterfall coming out of the cave. So he indicated that, yes, this is the reason why there is a holy place for the Greeks and the Romans built right here, because of this waterfall that couldn't be explained in any other way but act of God. Okay? That's why it's a place of worship. I even hate to say the word. By the pagans, you know, slaughtering their own kids in favor of their God, took place at the bottom of their cave. Pastor and I will point out to you the exact spot where it happens. How can you call this place holy, but this is paganism? Very different from what we know about God. But for them, that's the way of worship. Okay, place of hell, of course. And back then, it was a beautiful waterfall, except for that time when they did that crazy bloodshed. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. We also mentioned the fact that this is one of 4, second after the den. The den we're going to visit also after lunch is the largest or biggest stream out of the 4 streams built or formed the Jordan River. It's like fingers that form a whole arm. The arm is the Jordan River, and the 4 fingers named in different names. This is Banias or Mount Hermon River, Dan that we're going to visit, and then there are 2 more, Snir and Ayun, doesn't matter the names. Here, it's important to know the name because it was named by the Greeks after their god. So it's the city of God, that's why it's called Paneas, the city of Pan. He is the main one. Okay, the city of Pan. When Muslims, 900 years later, when they come here first time ever in the history of man to this area, is 900 years after the Greeks and 700 years after Jesus. When they come here in the Arabic alphabet, there is no P, there is only B. So they pronounce it, instead of Paneas, the city of Pan, they started to name it Banias. And that's why we still use it as Banias or Hermon in Hebrew, because it's the main source from Mount Hermon right above us. Mount Hermon above us is the highest peak in Israel. It's also the one and only, believe it or not, ski resort here in this country. But being the highest peak, it's only also the main source of fresh water to this country. It's like a big sponge, I like to call it, a container, okay, that feeds all 4 sources of the Jordan River are being, fed by this one big mountain of Hermon, which is really unbelievable. It is such a responsibility for one mountain, right? But very great one. So from this living water, they established this place of hell, gates of hell, right here. But Banias is also a great nature reserve here today. It's a national park, so thank God these greeneries and water are protected, both of them, which is good for the future. So the quality of water is amazing here. Very, very low percentage or amounts of fluoride that is not good for us. It's one of the lowest levels in the world, I believe, too. Very fresh water. This one and then, both of them. Last thing before we go see this beautiful place is to define or explain the meaning of the word Yarden, Jordan. The Jordan River, right? The mighty, beautiful Jordan River that we read so much about, the holy water. The meaning has a lot to do with the actual physical roots. Because Jordan River begins from here, we know already, from this area, and the main stream out of the 4 is the stream of the Dan River. So the meaning in Hebrew for Jordan is coming from or off the Dan River. Coming from the Dan is Yarden. Okay, Yored Midan, we say in Hebrew, coming from Yarden, Jordan. That's very interesting because our ancestors, the great scholars and rabbis from centuries ago, already knew to determine which stream is the biggest one. They did not have to graduate any university. They had it in their heart. With their faith in God, they knew. And they could tell this one is the biggest, actually double or twice as big than all the others. Jordan River is based on 4. One of them, the dam, provides 50% of the water. All other three provide the other half. So that's really something to know about where we are. We can go up and visit the cave and visit the platform, the physical one, upon this rock. We'll see right there what used to be such horrible place is going to be the structure. It's not only about the structure of the whole idea of the church, it's also the physical one, where people used to worship like that, is where people are going to adopt, one God and His ministry and His faith. Think about it for a second. The two most crazy paganism centers in the world are now the most greatest centers of one God, of Christianity, Greece and Italy. Both centers are the headquarters of Christianity, the main, most largest two streams, Orthodoxy and Catholicism. Okay, both of them centered over there, both of them were the core of paganism, are now one God. So the message came from places like right here. Okay, we can go and take a look.
So the Israelis are they like the construction that here was a big temple of Augustus to some god of the Romans. To Augustus. And Augustus himself was God.
She's stealing like a good ship. Gates of hell are right here, and the place of sacrifice is right here. You can also read the sign. They knew when the sacrifice was being waterfall, literally coming from the center of the middle of the lake, of the cave, sorry. Indicated by the present that shortly after the time of Jesus, he came, that was his soul. That was his soul. As a result of the earthquake, water stopped coming from here and started to come from the bridge of the rock. Now it's so dry, unfortunately, because the 5 years straight was drought. We don't have the running water. When I first came this year, so
Until this morning at breakfast, that was our weekend.
Is that what it is?
We got you back.
God love.
Yeah, now you got to get her.
Of course, we all grew up on that story. Of course.
Why do they call that the Winnie Pooh?
We, back then, growing up, let's say his friends like Eo.
Short-lived though.
That's I really wanted them to see that, not just going straight to the city.
Oh, if we're not good on time, what about where?
Pistachio tree, huh?
Is it?
That's what it says, pistachio. Well, I guess. I don't know.
Familiar with
It's got the number 1000 on it.
the tree called Ella?
Ella.
You know the tree Ella? You know pistachio? Yeah. Of course you do. It's the same family. There are a few trees belong to the family of pistachio. This is one of them called Ella. Pistachio is also a type of Ella. You just have to hurry up.
He just talked about Sniper Street and that people see what I think of the golf he's going.
Don't leave for
If you come all the way here closer,
I have no idea, but I would stay with the group because if the bus has left that spot, then you're locked out.
I see a bus from where we're at right now. They're picking olives. I love them when they can.
so we can run very quickly and come back to see that from here. It takes just a few minutes climbing. You want to do that? Let's go. We can do that. It takes a few minutes. What do you think? Is it good enough for your car? Right? Amazing, huh? Everything around the gate is about that. Let's keep going. It's only a few minutes to get to the place. Remember to establish a new kingdom and move the center from the temple in Jerusalem to here. And he adopted the idols. He believed that that's the way, that the real God is the idol, not the real God. Stay on him.
God despised this offer.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. This is the one he went to Saul and Lot and had the personal fashion for him. That's probably more important.
Okay, just yell at them what you need them to hear, and if they don't want to come on up here, they don't have to, but we need to get back.
Yerovam ben Nebat, who believed that he can move really the center, the focus of pilgrimage from the holy city of Jerusalem, Mount Moriah, Temple Mount, down up here, and he adopted basically paganism around him by worshipping the idols. And a golden one, probably also very impressive, but it's only an idol. It's not real God, never will be. And he started a whole ritual ceremonies here, and feasts and festivals all around that idol. This is where we are sitting. This is his altar. He actually built up several of them. When you read scriptures, we know he had a few of them in the area here. This is the main central one. And we know how it ended. Remember that the nation of Israel split, right, between Judah and the 10 tribes. So this is what we are facing. And I'm glad we were able to come all the way here to see that.
Boy, it was raining good when we was here last year. Woo. We got in this Coliseum right here last year. You know, the other side of that huge Coliseum. It was pouring the rain.
It's amazing. Be right here standing and knowing how much dance is on. Lions, gladiators. Now, will you be able to go down in there?
comes from the Hebrew language. Tel also adopted by English, and that means something ancient and old. The ancient city of Bet Shan is one of the oldest in the Holy Land in Israel. Dated all the way as far as 5,000 years. Canaanite time, so that just when you think King David, for example, you think 3,000. Think another 2,000 years prior to King David, when it's completely Canaanite. And later on, during the invasion of Joshua, the Israelites, when they are back after they left Egypt, slavery for 400 years, and back here, all of that happened within the time Bet Shan already existed. Okay, so this is like to give you the frame of time a little bit. And the city that is so attractive now for people from all over the world is the Roman city right below. When you read the Bible, and when I say Bible, I mean the Old Testament. When you read the Old Testament, okay, none of this existed at the time. None of this, the Bible. It's all about the Tel. When you read about King Saul being killed, and his body and head that was removed, being actually hung on the walls of the Shan. That's the walls up there, top of the Tel. It's not the bottom. Okay, there are thousands of years apart. This one here is dated to the 1st century.
You on, Jerry?
It's all in focus.
All right. Does that look
red.
about right? Oh, I turned. Is this
Is
still
that on 10 minutes? Push the red button, stop.
If you're going to do the recording, I can get.
I'm just gonna step down here. I can't step over there. So
This is my camera.
You coming over here tomorrow?
Hey, Robert.
If you want to do it,
Let me catch him before he steps down. Now, is this recording yet?
Honey, I don't know. I don't know. It's doing, okay, now it's recording.
Okay.
Now it's recording.
All right.
I can't see your hand.
It was so cold when you got baptized.
Yes.
And me, Robert.
Thank you.
Blessed today.
Can you take pictures?
Yeah.
Especially of
You
me
like
and
them up
Scott.
and down or sideways?
Sideways would be fine.
Several of
Of me and
everybody or
Scott.
just you and
Well,
Scott?
me and
Julie's
Scott
and-
mostly, but
Okay, that got
some
you.
of them.
Maybe, okay.
I think I'm
You
on.
said straight up or sideways?
Sideways would be
You
better.
like
I guess.
sideways, okay.
You got white, but
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Then 5 years later, call for that front end, and I was on the motorcycle. They lied flat. I just got completely. I was sober that day.
If I go down, Lord, I believe it and put it in Calvary. In the name of Jesus, amen.
बैप्टिज्म देने वाले हैं वो सामने आपके खड़े हो जाएंगे और हम लोग दुआ के साथ इस सर्विस को शुरू करेंगे निवेदन करेंगे बिशप साहब से कि वो दुआ के साथ
Flies all over the place.
I know.
hallelujah to my King, my King, my King. Hallelujah. Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit.
आइएगा थोड़ा सा यहीं पर रहेंगे ज़्यादा
Praise God. Bless her, Father.
कौन दे रहा फोटो फोटो कौन दे रहा है विश्वास करते या विश्वास करते उसके लोगों से आपके पापों की क्षमा हुई है आपके इस विश्वास के अनुसार आपको पिता पुत्र पवित्र आत्मा के नाम से
I'm so glad for this weather. We like to froze last year.
I'm probably shaking this thing everywhere.
Praise God, Sandra. Is this your third trip here, Sandra? Is your first baptizing here?
Robbie's asking you. Robbie's asking you a question.
I know this is your third trip here. Did you get baptized on the other one?
Bethany's the one who's baptized. I begged him the first time. Yeah, I begged him the first time. She said no. So, all this is awesome.
Oh, praise God. And the weather was froze last year. Amen, Susan.
Anybody else? Come on, brother.
Well,
We're going to get you right in between us right here.
Here, I'll hold it. You want to get rid of this? Where's your arm?
you want me to hold that?
हालेलुया आपको विश्वास के अनुसार प्रार्थना की थैंक यू जीसस
Wasn't expecting that.
इस तरफ देखिए कुछ नहीं होगा कुछ नहीं आपको विश्वास के अनुसार लेडीज हेल्प करेंगे लेडीज का आपके विश्वास लेडीज हेल्प करेंगे लेडीज का आप आइए चिंता नहीं हाथ
Hallelujah. Thank you.
I'll get some of you also on this.
Oh, wow. Yes, with her.
You might want your scotch.
No, not that button, this one.
I've been baptized.
Y'all know why Jesus talking about John said he saw the reeds shaking in the wind? See all those reeds around here? Yeah. Jesus referenced what the Lord is by.
Turn the favor, loving you back. Jesus' name, Father. Coming up with you.
Wow.
Glory, hallelujah.
I'm out here.
Hold this so I can get Jerry's.
קומה 0, דרך הקבלה, אולם אירועים.
Please join us over here.
Right here.
Our tour today takes us to the top of Masada, but we've also been down to the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea area biblically is a very important spot because it is the area that Lot chose to live in when he and Abraham separated. And then because of the sin there, you know the story of how that Abraham went in, rescued Lot and his family.
Thank you.
And then God said for you to cross the Zoar Mountains and don't turn around. Well, just before they crossed those mountains, Lot's wife had to turn around. And when she did, she turned into a pillar of salt. And that kind of is a commemoration. You think of her the whole time you're down here because everything is salt. And then we come to the top of Masada. It was here that over 900 Jewish people refused to give in to the Romans. And they held out here as long as they could. And when they could hold out no longer, they committed suicide rather than to have their wives raped and their children brought into slavery. And they cast lots at the very end. Masada is a great place. It's a great fortress. It tells a great story of strength and holding out and preserving a people group.
Enjoy your time.
And I hope you get to come to Masada soon.
You got, they give you a coupon now? Okay.
הם תופסים המון מקום.
55, נתניק.
65.
איזה מבט של כועס שלך.
הוא מתחיל לשכב אותו בשכיבה.
תעשה 3,465. 30. מחלק ל-55, אתה יודע כמה נסיעות? 30 מספיק. עם כל מיני נסיעות. מה אכפת לך, אתה עולה? יפה. 30 מספיק אבל 80.
5.
55. כל אחד נהיה פה דוקטור.
מה עושים קרמיקה שם? זה הארגז הזה. הורידו אותו כאן.
מה הם באו לעשות שם?
הם עשו הקירות
הם עשו את התמך פעם שנייה שתהיה שיטפון, הכל נשטפון. זה בדיוק ירד גשם בשביל. הוא לא אשם, ככה קרה.
אף אחד לא אשם.
לא רק פתאום גשם עבור.
בגלל זה עושים
הכל טרי, לא, הכל טרי. הכל הלך. הוא לא אשם באמת מסכן, מה הוא אשם?
כי צריך לעשות עבודות האלה בזמן מתאים. לא בחורף שסליחה יכול להיות גשם היום.
הם מודיעים 7 פעמים, שיטפון, שיטפון, שיטפון.
זהו, מה אתה רוצה?
גם מדברים על שישי שבת. שישי שבת גם...
מדברים על שלום.
לא יהיה פה אף פעם.
הוא לא אשם.
שישי שבת גם גשם עבור.
הוא לא אשם, לא אשם.
הוא אשם.
כן, בטח, מי עוד? תשמע, ממש יפה. ממש יפה. תראה,